Yes, yes, I know it's Sunday. I know. An unusual day for the Vash lands to awaken, as it has done. But here we are. Here I am, here you are, here we are. And while it might be a shorter stream than normal, it was the right thing to do, guys. The window presented itself. And I have heeded the call. What's going on, everybody? Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday. Some of you are feeling probably rather chilly today, I would imagine. And some of you have been feeling rather chilly maybe for many days. But cozy stream. Perfect for cold weather. What's up, Glorf, Kronzik, Dosi, Black Fox, Kronzik, Nightwatch, Lowriser, Visibility, Datamach, Ninth Year, Ghostly Goofar. What's up, Ghostly? Welcome, welcome. Maze, good to see you. Good to see you, Snickerdoodle, as well. I want to say thank you also, Ghostly Gopher, thank you so much for the Prime sub. We've also got with us today, let's see, Sergio Skiach, Robert Anderson, Craig Fire, Michael Tolmart, and TX. Good to see you all. Good to see you all. Here, but rocking the baby in the rocking chair because she's a month old and she gets what she wants. Yes. That is the truth. That is the truth indeed. Also, shout out to Dosi for the 15 stream streak. That's awesome. And also to Laydale with the 3 stream streak. Sick. Sick. Man, can't wait for the spring update. I know, me too. The closer we get, the more I cannot wait. The closer we get, the more I can't wait. Hey, what's up, the Great Vendini? Yes, Sunday stream. I purposely didn't announce it, didn't say anything about it. Just cozy stream. Thought I'd just kind of slip out there and see where the wind takes us. See where it takes us. Enjoying the MMO drama lately? I am not. No, I am not. I am not. What's up, the Real Vicious? Good to see you. Have you heard about the sad news about Ash Creation? I have. Oh, yeah. Yes, I have. Been enjoying the bonus XP in game. Been able to try out a wizard. Got him to 23 so far. Cool. Nice. You enjoying the boom booms? What's happening in the Rise of the Fallen world? Hey, we're chugging right along. We have a very ambitious development schedule headed towards spring. Spring is just a massive milestone, massive moment. So we are heavily locked in. Heavily. Yeah. It's sad. It is very sad. Yeah. Yeah, I had some friends worked at Intrepid. We had Tahom, who also was working at Intrepid, and definitely been kind of an interesting history there. I met Steven for the first time at where was it? think it was PAX East. I think it's when we went to PAX East. So we got to meet him. I got to meet a couple of the other kind of lead devs that were there. And ever since then, we've maintained, I would say, like, I say we, I mean, like, the projects have maintained like a cordial kind of, mutual rooting for each other, I guess, as is good. I mean, just in the genre in general, like MMOs, it's a bit of a shaky genre in some ways. And but what's so funny about Pantheon is that it's always been like, I remember this one time, I don't even remember the context, maybe some of you guys do, but I did a panel one time with Steven and, dude, why can't I think of his name? Smedley. And then the guy from Crowfall, and then me. And it's, this was after Brad had passed, and so this is, very much like new territory for me. But it's been a long history of, Pantheon trying to kind of like punch at a higher weight class, with a lot of these much more well-funded, much more kind of generally positively covered projects. And so I'm proud of us. I'm proud of our team. I'm proud of our project. And we have it. I do not take for granted the fact that in the midst of like a very tumultuous industry, and in the midst of a lot of really hard news, that we're still going strong. And at the end of the day, like, the proof's in the pudding. At the end of the day, time will tell. Time usually tells all. Things that are hidden usually have a way of coming out. And so I think, we'll wait and see. We'll have to see how everything goes down. But I'm proud of us. Thankful for this project, guys. Very much. Yeah, Datamog, 100%. 100%. Yo, AK, thank you so much for the tier 1. 11 months of support. That's awesome. Ghostly Gopher, forgot to mention, yes, a full year. Dude, thank you so much, Ghostly. Thank you so much. Joppa, been a while. AK says, I've been super busy with life, but I've made time for Pantheon, and it's amazing. Can't wait for spring and what comes after. Keep up the good work. My sister-in-law said she won't come play until she can rename her pet Jaibaken. Jaibaken. That is a very emblematic name, for sure. Jaibaken. Jaibaken, Jaibaker. But yeah, it's sad. It is sad. Anytime a project like that shutters, it's really tough. It's really tough. And, there's a lot of drama. There's a lot of stuff, that can flow from it. But you have to remember, like, at the end of the day, there's a lot of people that, work hard. A lot of people that put in a lot of time and effort on projects like this because they're massive. And so however the news might hit you, because with anything, you're going to have people that are coming at it from the... there's always going to be people that relish drama and relish things as kind of this like vindictiveness. And I don't necessarily even mean that in a negative way, just like this sense of vindication of like, if you're somebody that's been on the side of, seeing something a certain way and being like super critical and trying to call things out, and then something like this happens and it's like, it feels vindicating. And then there's, the thing of it is, guys, like, this, you get super invested in these games. Like, you get super invested in them as they live, and when you're playing them after they launch, you get super invested in them as they are being developed, and you're looking forward to them launching. And we've all been down that road where we just get so invested, like so, like it, they become these incredibly load-bearing things, and that's true for all of us. And so there's a whole wide range of emotions when things like this happen, and it can be really tough. It can be really tough. But in the midst of that, yeah, just remembering that there's real people behind it, and people that on the day-to-day had absolutely nothing to do with any kind of decision making, or they weren't in strategic meetings or anything like that. They were just working on the game day in and day out, probably pouring a lot of heart and soul into it. And so it's just good to remember that. It's good to remember that. Yeah, they've been around for a long time. They started, I mean, they've been kind of a contemporary of ours for a long time. So it depends on when you kind of like pinpoint Pantheon's, the beginning of Pantheon. Some people do it from literally the very first kind of like leaked mention of it, which I think was in like, 2013 maybe? Maybe even earlier than that. And then you had the whole original team that left, and then you kind of had the reboot, so to speak. But yeah, Ash's development on Ash is kind of like maybe like a year later. So haven't been at it quite as long as we have, but close. Steam actually helped Pantheon. It did. It did big time. It did big time. Yeah, Steam was definitely one of those calculated risks for sure that really, really, on the whole, has been really helpful, really good for us. We making stew and s'mores? How are we getting cozy? Oh man. Well, I thought we'd start off with, I don't know. I'm feeling a little tender today. Like, it just, anytime something like this happens, like within the industry, you just, I don't know, it just causes you to kind of take stock and count your blessings and just kind of like, So with that being said, I kind of wanted to do a little EQ guesser just for some cozy, like, let's do some EQ guesser. Feel the warm fuzzies. And then we'll see. We'll see. AOC guesser. I don't think we'll be doing an AOC guesser. Hey, Trap, we're just talking a little bit about the news today about Ashes. Jay Rickardson with the 35 stream streak. Wow. That's awesome, Jay Rickardson. That's really cool. That's really cool. Thank you for being here, my friend. That's really cool. Trying to cater to PvP killed minigames that had a lot of promise. You know what? I think that's an important thing to say. I was talking with a good friend of mine who actually, plays Pantheon, but has played, a lot of other MMOs, everything from World of Warcraft, played a lot of New Worlds. He and I both got into Dune together for a little bit, even though I left him hanging, which I feel really bad about. But he's a good friend, and he's got a good perspective on these games because he's played a lot of them. And having played New World as deeply as he did, and Dune, and what's sucks is like he just recently picked up Ashes. Like I'm talking like it was like probably 2 or 3 weeks ago maybe. And it was interesting to kind of hear his perspective from playing and kind of, because I, I'm not, I don't talk to him about everything, related to Pantheon. There's a little bit of some, just trying to respect the fact that like there's some things that I hold back, even just for his sake, just because I know he's interested in Pantheon and wants to play it. So I don't want to spoil it all out there, but we'll have some pretty good conversations sometimes about, Pantheon and MMOs in general and some things. And, but we actually got on that topic about PvP and how these games that are so heavily geared towards PvP, they seem to all be kind of trending towards this same conclusion. Which I'm not sure what that says about the trend, because you look at something like World of Warcraft, if that to any degree where that's kind of a standard, they have tons of PvP, tons of PvP, heavily compartmentalized, heavily curated. And I think at the end of the day, that's the key, is when you try to build a game that has PvP kind of incorporated into its core loop. I think that's really challenging. Especially if, end game wise. I mean, that's what we saw, I think, with Dune, right? Where, I mean, I loved Dune. Just leveling up and just kind of the initial progression period. It was awesome. And then you get to that end game and it's like, okay, now it's all about PvP, kind of almost this kind of forced PvP. And granted, I've never played Ashes. I never, there's a lot that I don't know about it detail wise, but it just seems like whenever PvP is kind of treated as this kind of core mechanic in the game, I don't know. New World, kind of the same way, So I don't know what it means. I know that for me, I've always said that like PvP really does depend, in my opinion, on a really solid and primary PvE foundation. Like if you're going to do PvP, it has to come second to a PvP or a PvE focus and a PvE centric game. And in fact, I believe it has to, but I think it also, the PvP really benefits from that as well, if you plan on having it being like a major component of your game. So yeah, make a good PvE game first and then have PvP exist in that world. PvP in Pantheon was amazing. It just needs tools like CMViz and Safe Towns. Yeah, I mean, yeah, the foundation is going to be there. Absolutely. Because it is going, I mean, Pantheon is such a PvE centered game, obviously. I mean, that's really the main point and focus of the game. And so when PvP is layered into and onto that for people who want to do it, and that's the key, is like, it's not part of the core experience. You have these areas built for it, either, on specific servers, or, certain kind of like match type things that you can access from inside of the game, where you could even have access to that from a PvE server. You could, queue up for certain type things. I think that is fine too, but it's got to be built again on that PvE foundation for sure. For sure. I love PvP in old school games like Pantheon, fighting for a name or camp, having a nemesis or ability to gank. Only PvP MMO I ever loved was Ion, Star Wars Galaxies. Huh. World PvP's never been good. I'd say it's definitely not good, far more than it is good, and that's only because I'm kind of holding out, making a caveat, because I don't even know if I can think of like a true open world PvP game that's good. I mean, honestly, the only thing I typically reference is like South Shore and Terran Mill, open world PvP fights, but that was just like basically, group PvP jousting back and forth. But that was fun. But otherwise, yeah, it turns into kind of like just gank fests where the only like world PvP that's happening usually is you're getting jumped by somebody. UO, yeah. Yeah. UO was good. Eastern Plague Lands, yeah. Man, I played Ion, but it was so long ago. I don't even remember the PvP. We didn't play it. My group of gamer friends, we didn't play it for super long though. So. Well, while this conversation keeps going, speaking of PvP, how about we do a little bit of some EQ Guesser PvP here? Some EQ Guesser PvP. Classic. There you go. Good luck. I'll give you guys a few minutes, a couple minutes to get rolling here. The fact that you can be jumped does make it so much more immersive for me, though. Most don't actually PvP on PvP servers. Yeah. Black Fox is currently driving, so our reigning most consistent champion of EQ Guesser is not in the mix. So hey, if you've never felt like you had a chance to compete for the podium, this might be a good time. You get a bad rep quick, it seems, PvPing on PvP servers. Yeah, that's true. I mean, we saw that even with like Arc Raiders, right? Where you've got literally like an extraction shooter PvP based game, and yet, yeah, you could like if you actually dared to attack somebody, then it was like, what are you doing? You monster. You monster. Oh. Don't shoot. You see Pantheon never going to the plane, similar to how we did in EQ? No, not really, because the whole fabric of like the way that the celestial like deity layer exists in Pantheon is so fundamentally different. And it also, we want to preserve the idea that like mortals, even of any size, or you're not going to be able to slay a deity. But the way that we kind of work within that and around that is deities, celestials, they can cross what's called the celestial boundary and shed their, kind of deity-like attributes to become what's essentially known as like a high mortal, where they are still incredibly powerful and still in many ways deity-like, but they're not immortal and they're not, unkillable. But that would mean that they would actually cross that veil, that barrier, if you will, and there would be a way to meet them, interact with them, face them in the mortal plane. Doesn't mean that we won't explore some potential things that involve crossing that celestial boundary to some degree, but not in the sense that you would, fight literal, fight and slay gods like in their true godlike deity-like form. I feel like anytime you start to kill actual gods, it kind of kills the power struggle of the game. Like in Final Fantasy XIV, you're a savior of worlds, slayer of gods, and then the next X pack, you get killed by a sentient tree. Oh, yeah. Yeah. That's good. That's very much our thinking as well. But that's funny. I didn't know that. All right, here we go. Log in. Oh, yeah. We know where this is. Very well. That's the... What do they call this? Like the newbie wall? Is that what this was? Like right there? Ish. I don't know. We might be more like right. We're probably like right there, aren't we? Yeah. Ah, man, I should have moved it. That would have been perfect. King Exorb. Or Zorb. I always say Exorb. It is what it is. King Exorb. So we're actually like... Where's the entrance? Yeah, that reaches. So we're what, like right here-ish? Oh, that was weird. You just said the best you ever did on EQSer? Nice. Sick. This appears to be Butcher Block. Though a very, like, kind of nondescript little pocket here. It always feels so close to Wraith Mountains too, though. But I do believe this is Butcher Block. Where though? It's not there because there's not a golden tower. Let's go equidistant. I don't know, maybe here? Okay. Okay. That one was tricky. Oh, yes. Oh, yeah. There's the entrance right there. We are tucked right into this hedge maze. Probably about like right there, I would say. Good. So far, so good. This looks like... Okay, this is North Row. Looking towards Freeport. It looks like we're kind of right in the middle of the zone. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I can tell this is like where EC Tunnel is. The wizard platform's right over in that area, I think. I kind of want to say we're like right about there. Nice. Yes. Oh. Robbed. Woo. Wow. That was close. That was close. Whew. All right. So I'm taking home gold for this first round. Alinar comes in second place with the silver. And third, we have Rampaged Light Blue Sol B Goblin. Rampaged Light Blue Sol B Goblin. Who's taking home the bronze? Name Speed. Congrats. Yeah, that Wraith Mountain Butcher Block one is always a little tough. Always a little tough. Good stuff. All right, well, I'm going to pass on the settings to the silver place medalist. So, Alinar, what parameters would you like for the next round? What will it be? Hey, what's up, Jazz and Blues? I'm curious, did VR ever try to source the Crowfall Unity tech off they developed when the company went under? The Crowfall Unity tech they developed? No. I never heard anything about that. Trilogy. Cool. Everything else the same? Fair enough. Okay. Here we go. Here's the link. Good luck. They had so many systems they developed, and you think it all evaporated? I mean, unfortunately, that is the way that it goes. It's interesting, though. I mean, sometimes things that are, I don't know, more kind of like I know there's definitely things that we've developed. I mean, we already have vinyl that we've licensed, and there are other things we've developed that probably could be definitely useful, you know, to others. So I'm sure they did consider and explore that. They would have had to, I would imagine. What's up, Lithoniel? All right, here we go. This is our last round, guys, so lock in. This is Trilogy, though, so I'm about to get wrecked. Okay, I do know where this is. Don't I? Yes. Man, I'm not ever going to remember how you actually got to this place, though. Wasn't it right here? Okay. Ooh, good. Good start, good start. Well, sometimes they make it too easy. Is this ice clad? If it is ice clad, it would be just, I mean, this is just such a random. See, I never went to the edge of like any of these places that I remember, so I'm just gonna go ice clad. I'm probably wrong. Okay. I was wrong. Not horrifically wrong, but wrong. I didn't even remember that the eastern and the western wastes and all that they were surrounded by water. I have no memory of that. It's wild. Gribok. Weren't these goblins in Droga? Just one of these hundreds of little, like, pockets. Oh, it wasn't Droga, it was Nurga. Of course. Not Droga. Nurga. Yeah, see. Guys, what? It was down there, right? Those little dudes, those little... Okay. All right. Well, that's something. This is, okay. This is Cabalus. Though I do not recall east or west. Oops. Running out of time. All right, I'm just going to go here. It's probably wrong, but it's okay. Ooh, okay, cool. No way. Really? That was actually a good run, and Alinar, you still squeaked it out. Okay. Carpet Crumb, we're just playing a couple quick rounds of EQ Guesser. This is EQ Nostalgia, kind of a geo-guesser in the world of Norath. World of Norath. Yo, what's up, Joskar? 25 stream streak. Woo! Good to see you, my friend. Hey, what's up, Nina? Development is going very well. Very well. We have a huge update coming in the spring that we are working towards. All right, Alinar, congratulations, taking home first place. Well done, my friend. Yeah, Velius. Looks like Velius got us crunched. And then in third place, we have Buffed Green Nectulos Spider. Who's taking home third today? I can't refresh it because to keep it fair, to keep it, you know, as clean as possible, as soon as I hit breakdown, we lock it in, because if I refresh it, somebody could have been like watching and, you know, picking their answers based on, you know, what they see me do. So, yeah. That's you, Glorf. Congratulations, Glorf. Taking home the third place. Well, that's our podium. Round 2, Alinar first. Silver for me and bronze for Glorf. Well done, Glorf. Well done, Alinar. Good job, guys. Got a few more people playing that round. That was fun. That was a good one. Those were, you know, not too bad. Not too bad. Any fun, juicy details you can share? Well, Nina, we did, leading up to Christmas, we had a ton of like blogs that we put out talking about all of the updates coming in the spring. We are doing a fresh, full wipe and reset with that big spring update as well. We're going to be releasing a public test realm in the next... I don't think we've actually announced like a date for that, so it'll be in the somewhat near future, where we'll start rolling out all of those updates coming in the spring onto the public test realm for testing, feedback, all that stuff. But yeah, the spring update's gonna be huge, huge. But yeah, check out. I know on the website, and if you're in the Discord. In our announcement section, you can find all the different updates and what they're going to be. It's going to be good. You're a Final Fantasy guy yourself? Nice. All right. I think what we're going to do now, I think we're actually going to hop in and play some Pantheon. We might do a few little dev things at some point, but I don't know. Just itching to play today. So that's what we're going to do. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, and then our update this month, we have a new dungeon called the Nightfall Crypt, and then a lot of updates to the Summoner class coming out this month. Yeah, I don't think we've put out an actual date for the PTR yet. Yep. One sec. Okay. All right. Yeah, Lullabear. Yeah. Yep. When do we plan to get haste back? I'm hoping we can get it back by the February update, but we're gonna have to wait and see. I don't know that for sure yet. All right. Let me know how the volume is, guys, too. Is it too low, too loud, too quiet? I kind of want to see, I really want to see if we can do Halnir. I mean, I'd be down even to try for somewhere like the Galdassi. I know it would be a ways out, but are there plans for race-specific animations for different weapon types and whatnot? Yes. Yes, not only are we planning to increase the number of like weapon animations in and of itself, so, you know, when you're attacking with a two-handed hammer or a sword or a dagger or whatever, that you would have more variations of attacks, but we do want to have some racial identity. I don't know if we're going to go as far as like every single race having their own unique animation, but we definitely want to do you know, the smaller races, the kind of the standard size, and then the large ones, we'd like for there to be some distinction there. Not to mention just general polish pass on animation as we move along. All right, so let's think about what we want to do here. We could do HC. We're probably too low. Are we too low for Spirit Manor? I kind of want to try it. I kind of want to try Spirit Manor on this healer. Let's push it a little bit. Let's challenge ourselves, huh? Watch how this is done, guys. Your boy's been playing Pantheon quite a bit, so I've learned how to avoid the splattage. I want to play, but I just can't motivate myself with the wipe coming. I totally understand that. I think I may have already answered and responded to your statement already, Taliesin, but reading it again, I just wanted to say it again. Makes 100% sense. 100%. Oh, there's Glorf. Glorf. Anybody want to hop in? Got any takers for a manor group? Well, we need to be whatever level. I'm going in probably a little under leveled. But I'm pretty sure that at least level like 13 would be good. Oh man, this mace is so nice. So nice. We picked up last stream, we picked up this boiled metal great mace. 15 damage, 1 whiz. Beautiful. My nuking, my what is this again? This is it invocation? My invocation skill is really low. Yeah, invocation. I might actually take... Oh no. No, that is the level 1 spell. Okay. Heck Tech, we have not announced any dates for upcoming races. They are very high on the radar. And I know it's something that people are really excited about and want to see as soon as possible. So hopefully we'll be able to put out some. We've only released info, like roadmap info, for the first half of 2026. So when we get to the latter half of 2026, that'll be a good time to kind of, I don't know, leave it at that. I'm not saying that that's, to expect anything latter half of 2026. I'm not confirming that. I'm just saying that there'll be a lot of info coming out when we do the latter half roadmap. Are there notorious monsters that spawn on the map, like rare monsters with unique gear? Absolutely, yes. And some of them, some of the rare spawns also have other conditions, like only spawn at night or only spawn during rain while it's raining. Things like that. What am I most excited about in terms of itemization? Well, new visuals for one, like improved item visuals, improved item progression, like visual item progression. Another thing I'm really excited about is introducing the whole slew of like things like plus fire damage or plus divine healing or things like that, and kind of saturating that throughout kind of the itemization across the level ranges, because I'm really interested in that being just another layer of like how you develop your class, where if you really want to emphasize a certain type of damage, then you would have gear that would promote that, in addition to like mastery options and things like that. And that's going to be part of also enabling more gear, even at lower levels and some of that early progression, to be dropping or available through questing or crafting or whatever, that allows you to feel some of those incremental increases in power. Yes, excited for visible cloaks as well. We actually had a discussion about visible cloaks, and whether we're going to be able to use like actual cloth simulation for that, which we would really like to do, but we're doing some research on that. All comes back to just the performance. Lethal, that's something that we're going to consider. I'm not going to confirm or deny that yet, but we are definitely going to consider that and take a look at what that would look like. Black Fox, yes. Oh, yeah. Yeah. How dangerous are these monsters out here? Can I just run away from everything, or do my movements matter when traveling? And do aggro monsters pose a threat when you are out alone? The world is definitely threatening, for sure. So these, not every creature is aggressive. Not every creature is going to attack me just because I run by it. But the creatures that do attack that way, they, as long as they're of a reasonable level compared to yours, then yeah, they definitely can pose a threat, and some of them more so than others. There's a couple of people up here already, level 9. Oh, these guys are probably camping the War Scout. Maybe we could set up a group around the back. The wall, I mean, probably. Oh, Warrior Troll Summoner. Well, why don't we get Why don't you bring your 18 Dire Lord Glorf? The wall, you bring your 16 Rogue or Ranger. Then we've got heals. And I don't know, we may want to actually get some spot heals. Yeah, I'd like to try to get Reckon a couple levels, because I want to keep pushing these healers up. This is on Stormona. What's the percent of folks that come back to do the lower portion of Helnir Cave? I see folks go there for the entrance and made a room or two deeper, but I never see folks going down to the deeper elements. Yeah. It's definitely not is certainly as much as you see in the first couple of rooms, and but I think as we get our itemization adjusted, I think that's going to change quite a bit. And then once we get kind of the major bosses in, so we got Nashra in, and once we get his loot table updated, once we get the Thief of Eternity in, that loot table updated, we have to fix some bugs with some of the elementals down deep. But I don't know. I'm hoping to see that the that intrazone teleporting mechanic is going to help a little bit with that. But we'll see. Springtime will be very telling, because that's when you're going to see also the unified NPCs. So you're going to be able to see groups that aren't like full groups being able to kind of, carve out spots for themselves. So I think we'll see some pretty significant changes in terms of activity and where players are going. Yes, Griggs, you are correct. Very sad news. Very sad. About Ashes. Let's see if we can make our way around to the back here without getting absolutely decimated. Oh, cool. What's up, 007? Good to see you. Any chance with the itemization changes that Heart of the White Wyvern gets more classes added to it other than Wizard, Ranger, Druid, and Shaman? Yeah, I mean, expect there to be a good amount of changes for that as well, like usability and things like that. So I would say 100% yes. Okay. Yeah, it doesn't look like there's a group back here. Can I loot that? Nope. Yeah, lethal, I can understand that. All right. What's up, JD? Good to see you, man. Good to see you. They all look like the colloidal silver guy. Oh, yeah, that's funny. Yeah, there will be some skin color customization for the dwarves that deviate from the blue a little bit, because I know it's not everybody's jam. They'll be able to get a little bit more into like kind of the stone colored hues as well. Invite arrows. How's life? It's good. It's good. Yeah, it's really good, man. We're excited about the spring update. There's a flurry of activity getting ready for that, but you know, every step we take forward is just so exciting, like really exhilarating, knowing where it's all going. Reeling a little bit from the news today. Just, you know, yeah. So, feeling that. But yeah, things are good, and that's the key. Is like just, you know, just chugging forward, pressing forward. That's it. That's it. Oh, you're good, Thwal. You're good. The amount of stuff coming in this spring update. Do I need to buy a new hard drive? Oh. I don't know. Maybe. Depends on which one you're running. I enjoy watching your streams when I play. Do any of the other devs also stream? We do have Bronson, one of our lead artists. He streams. I don't know if he still streams on a schedule or if it's more kind of here and there, but he does. Yeah. I saw your video talking about the early access to help develop the game. Nice video. Nice. Cool. Good to see you, Skoda. All right. Invite. What else is in here? There's Glorf. You can invite Glorf. All right. We need one more. We do have a paladin, so we have, I don't know, a little bit of additional healing power there, but I kind of want to see like what it feels like to not have. In fact, why don't we try with just the 5 of us and see how it goes, and we can feel out what we might need. Hey, what's up, Jesper? No, I don't think so. We did talk just a little bit, just kind of processing a little bit the news about Ashes. Just you know, other than that, we did a couple of rounds of EQ Guesser, and we're starting to get a little group going here on the Spirit Manor. See how we do. Ranger heals for the win, yeah. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and buff up. Yeah, bandage rotation, that's right. That's right. I don't like that I can't see what level you or your party are as a viewer. It's hard to get context of what I'm tuning into. Am I just blind? No, you are not just blind. We do have I can just hover over the group here. So we are trying to set up an experience group here at what's known as the Spirit Manor, and you know the average level of the NPCs here level 14 up to 16, I believe, 16, 17. And so I'm a little bit lower level. I'm a healer though, so I'm actually, my intention is to see how well a bit of a lower level healer does in this environment. Looks like we got an ad here. I like instantly go into DPS mode here. Gotta remember, I'm not a DPS class. Nice. Hey, what's up, Theory Forge? Good to see you. Good to see you, my friend. Also, Super Nerd, just to finish that earlier thought, we do plan on several general UI updates to kind of modernize things a bit. And what we have now is, you know, it's very functional, but it's also very placeholder-y in a lot of ways. Lots of polish and improvements to be done. Hey, what's up, Nicodemus? Yes, we are doing good. We're staying warm. What do I think about AOC basically shutting down? I think it's really sad. I think it's really sad. Yeah, I've been kind of reeling from that a little bit today. Zarks, they're coming in the spring. Yeah. Yeah, we're staying warm, Nicodemus. Hopefully you as well. Could we change skill spell acquisition to be perception, quest, or trainer based? Not a fan of just buying all the skills at a trainer. Yeah. So this is one of those things where, because we're in early access, you know, we do want as many of the different class abilities and mechanics to be like easily tested and consistently tested. And come spring, especially with so many of the updates that we're doing, you know, we really want to. We will likely continue with that approach of making things more generally available across the board and across the level range. But know that when we look at kind of the launch state, we don't want everything to be super solved for players right out of the gate. And part of that is going to be, you know, there's going to be lots of abilities that will drop, you know, in various places or will need to be quested for. And a few other little things that we switch up to keep it fresh. So, yeah. Plans for PvP in the future? Yeah, we already have a PvP server. What I've kind of been saying is that our goal is to create like a really, really solid PvE-centric MMO with deep PvE gameplay and really strong character progression, and then build PvP experiences on top of that, meaning dedicated PvP servers with, you know, some various different rule sets, potential, you know, for PvP, curated PvP things that you can access on any server if you choose to. But we won't be doing like PvE type stuff. Mm-hmm. All right, are we all here? Okay, waiting on me. Waiting on me. Some buffs up, and then we should be good to go, yeah? Like Battlegrounds or just optional PvP quests? So, I don't want to talk about it too much yet until the time comes. But you could think of it, you could kind of think of it like Battlegrounds, but not so much in like a match-based way. So what I really want to see, and what I feel like I can talk about more freely, is I played EverQuest heavily, and one of the servers that I spent the most time on was Sullen Zek, which was, you know, kind of your team-based, free-for-all, essentially PvP experience, and it was awesome. Oh, we've got 3. What are we doing here? Hold on, guys. Gotta lock in for a sec. Ouch. Oh my gosh. Okay. I'm getting bandaged. Almost there. Yes. Woo! Bandage coming in clutch. Get there, get there. Get my free heal. I am out of mana. That was intense. That was kind of sick. That was a genuine display of like where the down state actually like, because that was legit. That was like bandaged up, right? Wow. Oh man. Okay. Ooh. You blew your harm touch heal in accident? Yeah. That was cool. That was cool. Anyway, yeah, Sullen Zeke. So I think in a classically spirited MMO with like deep PvE and very heavy like open world PvE, having, you know, these different PvP rule sets in and of themselves can be really intriguing. And I think it'd be a really strong, you know, PvP expression for Pantheon in general, but got a couple of ideas for some specific, like more curated PvP experiences as well that I think will be really cool. Yeah, by the skin of your prayer beads, that's right. Yeah, Sticks, we're going to be improving the pet integration soon. We got a lot of UI updates coming. Oh, we got a named coming in. There's a rare spawn. Bitterbone. How am I liking Cleric? I'm enjoying it a lot. There's definitely some tweaks and some refinements that I'm excited for us to do, but so far so good. I mean, it's definitely a very, very capable healer. Yeah. Yeah, Daryl, I know. I know. Scassel, yeah, think of it more like kind of ramping things up, like juicing things up. No change in like, you know, our direction or, you know, some kind of new overlord or anything. That very much just empowering accelerated development. Yeah. I'm silenced? Okay. Yeah, Smite Cleric would be a DPS. And this dude's not messing around. Oh, because he's healing himself. That's why. Okay. Preparations for battling the end boss in my life right now. 1 month. 1 month baby boss. Yes. If you haven't already been given this advice, I am... Wait. Oh, I'm asleep. That's what it's doing. It's putting me to sleep. Right on. Yeah, if you haven't already been given this advice, make sure you sleep now. Unless this is... The baby's already arrived. If the baby's already arrived, then... You know, it is what it is, but... Ooh, Blood-Soaked Shield. Spell turn. See, there's a dropped spell for you right there. I'm pretty sure that spell is... You can just buy that spell right now, but... That's what we're getting at with eventually, you know, you'll have to find these certain spells... No, it's level 10. Anybody want the shield? Anybody rolling on that? I will probably roll on it because eventually I'm going to shift into a one-hander, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, the DL needs it. That's right. Yeah, of course. Yo, Nicodemus! Hey, man, thank you so much for the 5 gifted sub. That's awesome. I really appreciate that. Thank you. The gaming industry is tough. In my view, it is a small miracle games get to launch and takes a lot of tenacity to make it across the finish line. It's important we all support game development when we can. even if it's just a kind word. Well said, Nicodemus. 100%. Thank you so much. What level's the cleric? This cleric is level 11, so I am definitely boxing above my weight class right now in this group. But I wanted to do that on purpose, just to see how well a cleric could do in a bit of a higher level environment. So I am in the it is what it is stage. Mom is sleeping. The it is what it is stage. I totally hear you on that one. Somebody dinged. Is that you, Glorf? No? Oh, it was Pally. Invocus. Invocus. Yeah, the cleric's super cozy to me. Just to say it again, like man, I really do love this class. Going to have to ask the cleric if they are a healer before inviting them. I mean, I've seen that being mentioned, you know, here and there. I don't think it's that big of a deal. I mean, ultimately, like, if somebody is asking you to join your group, then they're going to ask and do what they do now. Like, they'll say like, "Hey, DPS looking for group," or whatnot. If you are looking to form a group and you're using the looking for group tool, then there's nothing to say that we can't put like a little icon, you know, next to the person to kind of display where you can choose for yourself. You can go in and say like, I am a DPS, or I am a... I think that'll be pretty straightforward. I'm not too worried about that. Oh, did anybody loot that? I guess no one looted this. I guess I will loot that. Blood soaked. I don't think anyone else wanted to roll on this, yeah? Yeah, there it is. And what did this do again? 9 health, 1 constitution. Okay. Oh, was it this one that was constitution? Yeah, so that's my nukes. Cool. But for now, we're gonna stick with the mace. No, I think the other spell was the spell turn. It was an enchanter spell. Congrats. I think that was Alinar. Who was that? Yeah, nice. Congrats, Alinar. Bitterbone is back up again. Again. How would we differ from a pally in what regard? Oh man. Glad to see you're finally changing over to a tag system instead of damage. I quit playing because I would fight a level 9 at level 9 and have a level 15 plus come and out damage me and steal my loot. Yeah, I think it will help quite a bit with some of the some of that kind of behavior. I mean, there isn't a perfect system. Is this dude just soloing over here? I'm trying to think of a game where we had a DPS cleric. Well, I mean, the funny thing is, like, in EQ, both the cleric and the paladin versus undead targets were awesome. Awesome. I mean, these are things that weren't found out until a lot later. Like the player base didn't get smart, didn't get wise to those things till later. But man, I mean, you watch like some solo self-found runs now, people playing EQ and doing like paladin or cleric, and you know, yeah, they're going to specific locations, but man, they can do really well offensively. I really need to get my Prayerful Rest keybound because I'm not using it like I should. What do we want to do with that one? What do we want to do with that one? Do middle mouse for now. Okay. Let's see. So assuming this is all planned out, we have 2 times as many classes essentially. What is the breakdown of number of tanks who can actually be a tank, number of healers who can actually heal, number of CC, and the number of DPS? Well, I'm not going to break that down right here and now. Okay, we got Bitter Bone in the mix. Woof, woof, okay. Gonna kill the Skelly first. Got it. Man, we gotta do something about this fog up here. It's just too much. Too much. Yeah, J-Tall. This is both the post-fight recap and the level display. Those are things that are currently a dev-only function. Something that we're looking at potentially including for everybody, but for now. Yeah. I am asleep again. Okay, there we go. We're back. Rest. Yeah, this dude is really tough. He just heals so much. It's a good question though, Snickerdoodle. I mean, I know that's definitely on people's minds, and it's something that we need to navigate well, because you don't want to end up with just this huge glut of NPC class or DPS classes, and not have. We are looking at how exactly we want to add to the tank and the healing pool. Pretty sure spiritual healing and celestial light that they have, it's their heal spell. Sorry, I need to run out of this fog for a second and just kind of like that's nice. I love the little, can you hear that little touch there? The little sound. I don't know what the cooldown on it is though. There it is. When you come into this area, it's cool. Fog? What fog? It's super clear. That's true. What was I thinking? Let's see. IQ, thanks for letting me know. I was actually not aware of that. Spear hand. And the attack speed spell not getting fast past the level 5 variant. Okay. Make a quick note of that. Okay. The fog gets really bad. I think I could be wrong, so maybe I'll have to eat these words in a second, but I'm pretty sure with a lot of the lighting updates that we did recently that this fog actually gets a little bit better once it transitions fully to nighttime. So hopefully we'll get a little bit of a reprieve here in a bit. Yes, this is why it's good for devs to play their games, as I've been told. So you can actually, you know, experience this kind of stuff. Like, I totally dig things like this and like an aesthetic like this and a feel like this if it's like, I mean, maybe not quite this thick, but close. If it's something that you're, you know, traveling through, or it's less of like any kind of persistent camp area where you're like set up somewhere for long periods of time. I think that's when it's, yeah, it starts to get rough. So I guess I would say, how does a healing cleric differ from a healing paladin if you guys choose to go that route with the paladin? Yeah, well, it would just be, you know, there are definitely differences in play style, differences in like the feel of certain abilities, you know. As we've, you know, kind of gone down, you know, some different like design exercises for something like that. You know, there are other classes in other, I'm asleep, in other MMOs, like the Vanguard Disciple, for example. That was a very interesting, unique take on healing. There's the notion of things like splash healing, and whatnot, where we need to be careful if we do end up going that route, meaning like a mastery, a paladin mastery for healing, then yeah, we kind of have to walk a very hard line. And that's why I was saying last stream that we've been leaning more and more away from that. Dagger, can't use it. Whittled femur. What is this nonsense? What? 5 damage. See, now that it transitioned to nighttime, this is what I was talking about. This is, this I can handle. This is cool. I think it would be cool for it to look like this, like, all the time. Yeah. Well, the nighttime used to be just as bad, so we did fix the nighttime fog. Now we just need to get it during the daytime as well. Which, by the way, any feedback at all on the gloom areas? Do you guys feel like those are improved now? Yeah, this is a vibe. I like this a lot. Thank you, Catalyst. Oh. Oof. Okay. This is something. Ow. I'm dead. Oh, this is named as well. Okay. Hold on, Glorf. Out a minute. Oh, snap. Oh, snap. Feel the man. Lag, lag, lag. Wolf's dead. Oh, he's not. Now he's dead. Now he's dead. He wasn't dead. Now he's dead. I don't know, guys. I don't think we're gonna be able to do this. Unless Invoker still has lay on hands. Oh my goodness. Whew. Easy game. Glorf, no! No, Glorf! No. He will always be remembered. Oh, nice. You got a res. We still on track for Monday stream as well? Oh, yeah. Yeah, we'll be back to normal schedule tomorrow. Just had a little window tonight. Wanted to stream a little bit. And like I said, it's been, I don't know, just... It's helpful sometimes to, like, be able to process things a little bit just with some of that news today. It's just, I don't know. That sucks. Ooh, oh. Curse cape, nobody else wants it? Yeah, another bard would be awesome. Seems like you could use another DPS or hybrid to clean up those pools. I agree. Oh, Glorf, sorry. Sorry. grab that. What about the harvesting sickle? Does anybody need the harvesting sickle? Okay, Glorf, okay. Looking forward to giving Pantheon another playthrough this spring. Right on. That's awesome. Okay, I'll scoop it up then. I will scoop it up. Wait, did it poop? It may have pooped. Wait, no way it pooped. Did it poop? Did I not loot it? Confused. I don't see it. Yeah. What's up, Tyrion? I got the cloak. I just didn't get the. I didn't loot the harvesting sickle in time. No, I checked on the harvesting side. I just. Wait, what? Oh, it's in, not all my bags are visible. Okay. Ah. It's fine. We're good. We're good. A little friend in the mix. It's a little friend. Yeah, I did get it, by the way. I did get the harvesting sickle. It was hiding. Need to be working up my invocation a little bit. You'll be back to Pantheon once the wipe happens? Nice, insane. That's awesome to hear. It is going to be a massive, massive moment, so I do expect, I hope, and I expect there to be quite a few people who are interested in coming back and giving it another go once we get there, because it's gonna be big. It's coming in the spring, and it's not only a wipe. It's a full, character reset, full wipe, but it's also coming with a huge amounts of various updates. We're getting the mastery system is coming in. We're getting mail, an auction house. Whoa, Glorf. Glorf! What on earth? That was a 4-pull. That was a 4-pull right there. Okay, we run back. Wait, what? Thank you for the res. That's awesome. Played EQ for 20 years. Nice. A follow command. Yeah, I'm warming to the idea of that. The real question is what class to play on reset. That indeed is the question. Indeed. Do things auto stack and make now? They do. Yes, they do. Oh, we got another bit of bone. Another bit of bone. I should probably buff up, yeah? Glorf. Dire Lord and Summoner, probably. Summoner's feeling really good. Summoner's feeling really good. Just from the internal testing I've been doing on it. Is it just me or do the graphics look better? I mean, we've definitely done some good, solid, meaty updates on lighting and and visual effect. It depends on how long it's been since you've checked in, but lighting makes such a big difference. So in that regard, yeah, there's definitely been major improvements and even more to come in the not so distant future with like bounce lighting and some other things that are gonna improve it even more. So for the spring update, will every class essentially get a wizard and summoner level rework, or will some only be touched and focused on later, or will some stay the same as they are in a good place? Let's see, Enchanter spell and the Whittled Femur again. Indeed. Not every class is going to get the same degree of an update as something like the Summoner. I mean, the Summoner is getting like pretty deeply kind of refreshed and reworked in some ways. And they needed it bad. I mean, they really did. I would say, you know, most classes would be closer to being on par with like the Wizard in terms of their updates, with some of them staying pretty similar, because some of them are in a pretty awesome spot at the moment. They just need more, and they need kind of that broader kit that, you know, isn't all necessarily combat related, especially for the casters. Some of them, like your Necromancers and your Enchanters, even to some degree. You know, Enchanters obviously are going to have Charm coming online, which is going to be huge for that class and how they feel and what they do. But Necromancers need a lot more, you know, CC options and support options and utility options. We want to really kind of like hone in on the 3 tanks and making sure that they have, you know, they're competitive, relatively competitive with each other, but have like some distinct feel to them, even more so than they do now. You got things like Clerics, where we want to really drive home, you know, the ability to kind of be a melee-based Cleric healer as well as a distanced casting Cleric healer, and the list goes on. So it'll be, they won't be as significant and deep as the Summoner refresh, but you know, there's still quite a bit to do to get the classes into that fully finished, fleshed out state, which they will be by spring. So can't wait. Oh man, because it's with the backdrop of the unified NPC, so it's like it's coming at a time when also the game is going to be opening up so much. Like that's what gets me really excited, is not only the way the classes are developing and kind of being brought to that point, but then it's like now when you log into play, you're really going to feel that sense of like, you know, what do I want to do today? Because alone I could go out and do these things, or, you know, maybe there's some small group stuff that I want to do, or I do want to, you know, go for the kind of pushing somewhere with a full group. And just, man, that is going to be such a game changer. Yeah, Nightmare, 100%. Yeah, Flange, we talked about that last stream, actually, that we will have that in certain cases. Like the Wizard is a great one where, you know, we're going to be exploring that that Spellblade side of the Wizard through their mastery. Okay, this looks like it might be nasty. This looks like it might be nasty. We got 2. What are we doing here? Oh, okay, yeah. So we got 1 CC. Look at that rogue. Look at that rogue back there doing their thing. Beautiful. Oh. Ding! Level 12. Woo! Hey, good to hear, Rusty. That's really good to hear, man. Really curious to see how it works in the dungeons. Like, what's to stop, for example, a group mass AoEing the solo mobs? Well, for one thing, that's why we've kind of taken a specific approach with AoE abilities that we have, because we don't necessarily want the AoE abilities to be powerful enough where like mass AoEing can be viable like that. Oh my. Oh my. But Malice Prime, so the true north for us in that sense, and kind of the way that we'll be navigating that is looking very much at kind of that EQ-esque approach where, yeah, like if you were the right level, like if you out-leveled an area and you had, you know, a full group of players or whatever, you could, you know, to some degree, you could kind of move through certain areas with impunity, again, depending on how high level you were. Who is that? Oh, typical Rick. Yeah, that's totally a rumor. That's not... I was describing there a eventually an event that we want to have, not anything that's currently in game. Hey guys, I'm putting out a 10-minute heads up notice here. In 10 minutes, that is going to be my my cutoff for tonight. Well, you have to remember too that when we do unify the NPCs, the current solo NPCs should have no... They're not... One sec. The current solo NPCs are like... They're nothing. Like, they're pushovers. They don't have any bearing on how difficult... the new unified NPCs will be. The new unified NPCs will be like a little bit less difficult than the current group NPCs are. And then those things will scale with level, meaning as something gets, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4 levels higher than you, you're going to feel that in terms of how difficult they are. And conversely, as they get lower level, you're going to feel that more so as well. And so the idea with soloing is going to be very much like, I need to find something that's low enough level that I can actually take it on. And then a lot of that will depend on your class, your gear, your skill level, like all that stuff. And then we'll be, you know, to some degree increasing some of the tools that players have and some of the aspects of some of the mechanics to give players a few more tools and a few more answers for what are going to be a little bit harder, you know, NPCs on the whole when it comes to soloing. Because right now you solo in the game and it's like they're just absolute pushovers. OCD, look at my food and drink bars. That's fair. I can assuage some of the pain. But then, of course, again, just like EverQuest, you've got where you really feel challenge ramp up, especially in places like dungeons, is when you're dealing with, you know, density and tricky pathing and, you know, very disruptive roamers, and then you also have I'm not gonna lie, I could use those legs, but I feel like I've been kind of if someone else needs, please take them. I'm shamed. I'm still low enough level where the fire beetle charger wants to nibble at me. Ugh. Yeah, go for it, Infocus. Get those legs. The named? It's such an interesting conversation to me, the whole idea of like soloing being viable and whether a soloing experience is viable. Because, you know, I am under the impression that certainly not everybody, but a lot of people that are following Pantheon, interested in Pantheon, have played it, you know, whatever, that they have somewhat of an EQ come from. And like, what I find so interesting is EverQuest solo leveling in EverQuest, which is also a great anime, by the way. Solo leveling in EverQuest was so viable. So viable. In fact, it was probably, and for some classes, you take like your druids, I'm thinking like, especially like vanilla classic EQ era, your druids, your necromancer, your magicians, almost better. Especially if you're talking about like quad kiting wizards, quad kiting druids, warp kiting bards. I mean, it was crazy. And you had your, you know, yeah, you had your like charm leveling with enchanters where they would, you know, their goblin Gazugi ring or whatever, even if they would just like manually clicking it invis off or invising and then clicking it off, whatever, to break charm, to kind of, you know, power through. There were so many different ways that like soloing worked in EQ. Again, like I was mentioning with like clerics and paladins against undead. So it's interesting to me, like what are we looking at here? Oh, Clothies, yeah. And I feel like in EQ, and correct me if I'm wrong, but you know, because maybe I just missed it, wasn't like tapped in, but in EQ, I don't remember people worrying about that. Griping about that, you know? Some people definitely did. I mean, I don't know. WoW changed it forever. People want things they can log into for only an hour or two and feel like you've still progressed. Yeah. I mean, there was somebody, we had one of our designers, we were talking about some of this relatively recently, and they were talking about how they came to prefer soloing, but that happened almost out of necessity for them, because when they first started playing EverQuest, they had, like a set group of people that they played with, and they grouped quite a bit and preferred grouping, and always logging in, looking to group up together and level together. But then as various things happened and they started logging in less or became a little less consistent, they found themselves soloing more out of necessity because they couldn't find groups, and over time eventually got to the point where they enjoyed soloing, because they ended up having to do it so much, and their whole kind of play style shifted out of necessity. So it's the way I look at it, it's, if soloing ends up being more viable or more efficient or more whatever for certain classes and certain people that enjoy that play style, I don't necessarily see that as a bad thing when you think of the kind of the whole of the game. Yeah, I mean, this was back in TeamSpeak days. I like to play both ways. There are times when I want to solo or box just to be by myself. Other times I like to group with all, depending on how my day went and what I want to accomplish in the game. Yeah, and I think that's great. I think that's great. I mean, I remember times, before Pantheon was even a thing, where during a work day for me, at different points of the day, I had, my laptop with me, and I would log into EQ, and I would just be sitting there AFK on my Necromancer, and then, checking in every few minutes or every half hour or whatever, just to kill Travis Two-Tone in Nectalos, just to kind of slowly be leveling it up, and I loved that. I loved that I could do that. Go bitter bones. Oh, good. Another whittled femur. It's not a bad thing. I'm saying as a group-based, slow-paced game, encouraging grouping through more XP. Yes. Now, so don't get me wrong. I think that there are good ways to encourage grouping and good ways to reward grouping. Really important ways of doing that, because that was also true in EQ, where when you did get a full group of players, a lot of good would come from that. You had your experience bonuses. You had, your ability to go to certain places that you couldn't do, outside of a group. I think that's absolutely essential. So, yeah. Just want to say I love this game. It's going to be great when it's all done, and Monster Memories is great too. I support you both, and it's nice to see the devs coming here from Monster supporting you guys too. Yeah. It's, this is an important genre. We're kind of no game can be for everybody. I think there's a lot of games that, you know, multiple different people can enjoy and multiple types of people can enjoy. And you might see certain people that, you know, play 2 games or play 3 games relatively regularly, but no single game can be the game for everybody, even if there's like shared and overlapping interests. And I think what games like Pantheon, what games like Monsters of Memories, what games like Adrenaline, what they represent is this belief that, you know, classically spirited MMORPGs matter. They've been lost and they need to be found again. And there are potentially entirely new generations of players that have never tasted a classically spirited MMO and have no idea how much they would love it, have no idea like what actually birthed this entire genre, which has now become such a commercialized, hub-driven, like on rails type experience. And so it's very, very important that these games succeed so that they actually communicate how important what's been lost is that we find again. And so what I wish we saw less of, to be totally honest, is what I feel like can become such an entrenched like tribalism where it's like there can't be this shared sentiment of like it's good if we all succeed. I think that's one of the most potentially destructive and going to keep this segment of the genre from getting the kind of traction that it really deserves, because all it's going to do is attempt to try and drive everybody to a single expression, thinking that it's going to be for everyone. And the reality is it's just not. And I've said this many times before, there are going to be people that play Pantheon and love Pantheon more so than those other games and play Pantheon. There are going to be people that play Monsters of Memories and love that more than they love Pantheon and stay there. There are going to be people that play Adrenaline and love that game, and that's where they go, and that's okay. Like there's not, I mean, yes, to some degree we're talking about businesses here and products that need to survive, but the reality is just that, like, you are going to have different games for different people, and it's important that they all succeed. Hey, what's up, Broken Stoic? Thank you so much for the raid, by the way. Welcome, raiders. Sorry you came in right in the middle of like one of my like spiel, so I apologize for that. But thank you so much for the raid. Any quick words on what a late 30s career changer and self-taught developer could break into games industry? Oh man, I can tell you what my experience was. It actually wasn't game development, but it was music composition for games, and it started with reading a bunch of blogs and articles and various things about how to do exactly that, to break in. As a digital composer, it was looking for a game in development early enough that they hadn't slotted their composer yet. And that's what I did. And so to extrapolate the lessons I learned from that and kind of the advice from that to something like game development would be figure out what you want to do. If you're a programmer, if you're a designer, and then do some research on, some of the different game engines that are out there that are kind of available to on the consumer level. So something like Unity, something like Unreal, and if you're interested in design, develop some prototypes of interesting designs. Develop, kind of a design in your mind, something like a combat system, very basic combat system, but has like a cool kind of edge to it or an interesting gimmick or whatever. And then teach yourself some coding. The more you understand coding, even as a designer, the better you're going to be, the more desirable you're going to be. The more you'll be able to kind of enrich your own systems, and then put together something basic, or even prototype something like like a cool take on like a vision system, or just put together a reel of little projects that you learn how to do, because everybody can, like, the industry is not lacking and projects aren't lacking with like idea people. But what's really cool is when you can take an idea and then you can prove that I can actually like manifest my idea in a tangible way that's fun, or that looks cool, or that actually like resonates. That's the part that's really challenging to do. Sorry, Catalyst. Sorry. Sorry for triggering the OCD. Yeah. Yo, what's up, Dougbug? I don't know if this matters much, but I know that VR is a small team, and while that may suck for creation of content in a timely manner, I do think it leads to advantages with success required financially. Ash's team was 200 people, and that is a lot of money to sustain. VR doesn't need to be Blizzard or a team of 150 plus. Yeah, that's true. I mean, there are definitely advantages and disadvantages. Being, somewhat like super lean and relatively underfunded for, I would say, the lion's portion of our development process has been really challenging. Really challenging in a lot of respects, but it has, it's kept us lean. It's kept the project easier to, ultimately kind of keep its like direction, going in the right way. We've had other issues too. I mean, beyond just, this was a very green team. When I started out, I was super green. This project started way back in the day as like kind of a volunteer project. And so there were a lot of really green people. There's a lot of tech debt even early on even at that stage. And so it's been quite the journey and learning a lot of things. And I think, the reality is like so many games don't see the light of day. And so whenever you see a game, get to the point like Pantheon has, like, and I'm sure this will be interpreted as tooting my own horn, but or tooting our own horn as a development team. But I mean, Pantheon is a success story. Like, however you want to look at it, like it is a success story. Like overcoming what we've overcome, getting to the point where we, brought it to early access on Steam, maintaining the kind of like review score that we have, having as many the kind of box sales that we've had to date, and just the general awareness and interest that people continue to have and show, being this far into EA and still going strong. We have major content updates coming this month. We have a massive content update coming in the spring, bigger than any update we've ever had before. Like, we're not slowing down, So I know, I mean, from the very, very beginning, like people have talked about Pantheon as if it's this kind of like failed endeavor, this like grift, this just whatever. But the reality is, like, it's what's happening. Like, what's happening is not that. And people like to point to the current numbers, like EA numbers, and it's like, not only, number one, we're in early access. Number two, we just announced a wipe is coming in a few months. Number 3, there's, you know, being in early access, there's a lot of games coming out all the time that people want to try, you know, and people do try, and they stop playing this game to kind of shift over to this game for a little while. And like, so anyone trying to look at the current like player base for Pantheon, I think is leaving a lot out of the equation there. So anyway. Oh yeah, Kyle was a huge turning point. Oh man. Yeah. Yeah, I'll reflect on that. I was even reflecting on that with Rowan, Chris Rowan recently, that, you know, the whole Pantheon journey has been just one series of like, you know, I don't know, what do you say? Like providential level events, like one after the other, the right person, the right time, whether that's, you know, a developer coming onto the team, whether that's, you know, like funding related events. I mean, it has just been one after the other where this game just, this project just gets what it needs when it needs it to keep marching forward. And I'm grateful for that. I'm so grateful for that. I'm grateful for that for the sake of like Brad's legacy. I'm grateful for that for the sake of like the reason my heart is as heavy as it is today with the news of Ashes, of knowing like how many lives and people and hours were devoted and invested into that project, that, you know, I don't know. I'm grateful, and I'm proud of this project, and proud of this team, and so it makes me so excited for things like, you know, spring, because I know and I'm confident that we will see activity that represents like how many people really do have Pantheon on their radar. So yo, Bald, thanks for that. I appreciate that big time. Echo Greco, I have a question. I want this project to thrive. I bought early access. What else can I do to help? Honestly, Echo, like, it's just these projects benefit so friggin' much from just word of mouth, just talking about the game, talking about what you like. You know, that's it. Play the game, enjoy the game, and, you know, let word of mouth do its thing. You know, I mean, Pantheon, don't get me wrong, like, Pantheon's still got some mountain to climb to get where we need to get to launch. We've got a lot of polish that we need to do with the game. It's not lost on me that some people could see it in its current state, and, you know, whether it's like some of the animation type stuff or, you know, UI type things, like, there's definitely an argument to be made of like, you know, some roads still to travel to get it ready and get it ready for like prime time, critical mass, all that stuff. But we are getting there steadily. And I'm sure, Catalyst, I'm triggering the snot out of you with my how long have I held this like 0 to 10% mana situation? Oh man. You should use prayerful rest and sit to celebrate your achievements. Thank you. It's not deliberate. It's not. Truly it is not. Players feel really good, guys. They do. They feel really good. I'm surprised at how but see, that's the thing. Like, PTR is going to be such an eye-opening time because, you know, I mean, our tank right now is pretty twinked. You know, we've got some pretty twinked people in the group, and so it's like, how would it really feel? You know, probably would be too low level. I would probably be too low level to heal this area effectively, were it not for the group being as strong as it is. So, yeah. I don't have Papa Heals. I don't have my melee mana thing, or else I would be. I'm stoked to see what's coming in for Pantheon. Yeah, Navarre. It's exciting times. Synchronize rest. Yes. You'll be streaming again when the wipe happens. Nice. Good. Yeah, I'm excited to see more people streaming for sure. I'm level 12. Level 12. What do I get at level 12, by the way? Let me see. Oh, I got my AE heal too. Purple combat, yeah. That's when I'll probably want to switch to a one-hander. Which, that's why I really want to rework this ability anyway, because I don't want to... I love two-handed wielding clerics, so... I don't want it to necessarily be super advantageous for one hand only. Wish I could say, but I gotta go. Pantheon's important to me as someone who played Asheron's Call and EverQuest back in the day. We need these games back. Yo, Echo, thanks for hanging out, though. Thanks for coming and stopping by. Oh, Nina, 100%, yes. Absolutely, we will be having some cool GM events, for sure. For sure. In fact, we're going to have a few things planned for our spring update, just kind of as a celebration for that, and yeah, 100%. Guys, after this poll, I think that's going to be my last poll for tonight. Awesome group. Got almost a level and a half. It's pretty sick. Pretty sick. Mm-hmm. Ten minutes on the dot. Was that actually 10 minutes? For real? Because I was not. I thought I had gone over 10 minutes. Not that it's some, like, you know, hard fast thing. 30 minutes? Oh, you were kidding. You were kidding. Gotcha. Gotcha. Nice. Well played, sir. Well played. Okay. Awesome. Good stuff, guys. Thank you so much. Listening to you makes me excited to jump back into Pantheon. Good. Good. That's what I like to hear. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. Thanks for hanging out on this this cozy Sunday. My typical stream schedule, if you're interested in tuning in, is every Monday and Wednesday, usually a start time between 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. Pacific, 2 to 3 p.m. Eastern. That's kind of my typical stream schedule, Mondays and Wednesdays. And then some weeks, like this week, I'll do some extra ones and kind of some impromptu stuff. But yeah, if you're interested in keeping up with Pantheon's development, please tune in. And I'll look forward to seeing you guys again very soon. For now, that is going to be a wrap. I will catch you guys again tomorrow, very soon. And until then, take care. See you guys very soon. Adios.